Hi guys, it's Simon and I'm doing this week's TLDR by myself because Martina unfortunately has food poisoning and she's feeling a bit too sick to handle this week's TLDR. I didn't want to skip this week's TLDR though because it's about a very important topic. I'm going to be talking a bit about the Sewol Ferry crash and about what it means here in Korea. Now, as a lot of you might have noticed, we haven't been posting any videos since Thursday because of the Sewol Ferry incident. Most of the videos that we post are very lighthearted and silly and have us goofing off, and I just didn't feel that it would be right for us to be this silly in light of how serious it is here in Korea right now. We're not the only ones that have postponed our videos. A lot of entertainment companies in Korea also have stopped posting their comedy shows and their live music performances because Korea right now is kind of in a state of mourning. For those of you who don't know what the Sewol Ferry incident is, I'm going to give you a brief rundown. Basically, on April 16th, a ferry carrying 476 passengers capsized. Another thing that makes this tragedy such a severe one is that a lot of the people on the boat were students. At the time of me filming this video, 174 people were rescued, 64 were confirmed dead, and another 238 are missing. It's feared that the window for saving these people has passed, so it's also feared that the 238 people are probably dead. Now, the major problem that I'm going to have with this week's TLDR is this. Majority of the TLDRs that we do mostly involve us telling stories about personal experiences that we've had here in Korea. When it comes to this ferry incident though, we don't have any first-hand personal experience with this whatsoever. The closest experience that we have is that two of our closest friends were actually teachers to a lot of these students. And we personally can see how devastated our friends are by this whole event. In fact, there's not one person in Korea that I've spoken with about this event that isn't completely distraught as well. In the 6 years that we've been in Korea, this is probably the worst thing that has ever happened. I know a whole lot of people that didn't give a shit whatsoever when Kim Jong-il died. And every year when North Korea gives a whole bunch of threats about covering us in an ocean of fire, nobody really blinks an eye. But I haven't met a single person who isn't visibly upset about what's happening on this boat. A lot of the sentiment here though isn't one only of sadness but also of extreme frustration. In our TLDRs, outside of talking about our personal experiences, we also try to talk about any reports or any news that we see about specific events. The frustration that we're feeling and that a whole lot of other people are feeling as well is that the news covering this event has been extremely unreliable. It's been very unhelpful, it's been oftentimes sensationalist, and many times it has given out false reports. For example, when news of this first broke, we read reports that everybody on the boat was saved, and we were very relieved. Turns out that in fact was all false. Soon afterwards, there were reports of text messages being sent from people trapped in the boats, sending them to their family and friends and giving a lot of people false hope. Turns out that all of these text messages were fabricated as well. There was also a false interview given by a girl who pretended to be one of the divers on the scene, and that was aired on a news network as well. Basically, the feeling that I'm having right now is that I'm very nervous about what I could say in this video. I don't want to speculate and I don't want to comment on a lot of the developments that I've heard because I'm not sure if they're going to be true or not, because probably tomorrow someone's going to say that everything we read today is in fact false. I know that CNN did a terrible job of handling the Malaysian Airlines flight, and the news here in Korea is doing a pretty piss poor job as well, which is why I'm so hesitant to state anything but the basic facts about what's happening here. The second feeling of frustration that a lot of people are having are with the captain of the ship. The major issue that a lot of people are having is that when the ship began to capsize, the captain told everybody to stay put and to not evacuate the ship. And the sentiment that a lot of people are feeling is that if these people didn't stay put and if the captain actually ordered them to evacuate, they would have probably been alive right now. On top of that, not only did he not help people get off the ship, but he was one of the first people to get off as well. Now, I don't know every single detail about that, but to me that seems exceptionally cowardly. Also, supposedly the accident itself was entirely preventable, as a lot of the conditions for sailing that they were not up to standards. And the third feeling of frustration and sadness comes from both us and from what a lot of people have said online. What can we do to help? Are there any charities we could support, or is there anybody that we could donate to? I'd like to be able to support some cause or some charity or donate to somebody, but I don't know what charity is the right one to give to. Another feeling of frustration is coming from a lot of the things that are being written about this accident. I've read a few articles that are trying to say that this is indicative of South Korean culture as a whole, which is entirely unfair for anyone to think. The terrible actions of a few men does not represent the over 50 million people that are in Korea. No more than the videos that I do on YouTube represent all of YouTube as a whole either. This is a terribly unfortunate accident, and the only people that should be judged are the people that caused the accident, not the country or the culture altogether. So that's it for this week's TLDR. I wish that there was something better that I could teach you apart from nihilism. I wish that there was something better that I could share with you. Don't trust everything that you read or see about this event, because even though the news is supposed to tell you what's happening, in the spirit of getting hot breaking news, a lot of the times they don't do a lot of fact checking, and they're going to post anything to get views rather than truth. And this isn't something unique to South Korea either. I'm sure there are lots of examples of news reporting in your country as well. I'm going to write a little bit more about this in our blog post, so make sure you click on the link here if you want to read some more thoughts or if you want to engage in the conversation in the comments. Our deepest condolences here in the Eatyourkimchi studio go out to all the people affected by this, the South Korean families in the South Korean schools, to all the families, friends, and schools that were affected by this tragedy. And hopefully we could all find a reason to smile again soon.